Ho, ho. Boy, do I have a show for you this month. We've got new artists, Trickster and Joey B Ellis. We'll climb aboard the Wire Train Express, and the Calls Jim Goodwin and Michael Bean say hello. All this and more on the Christmas 90 edition of the Cleveland Rock Beat. Hello, glad you joined us. I'm Mike Matus. Well, we're home for the holidays, even if it is only the Cox Cable Studios. And our wish to all of you out there is that you're home for the holidays, and if not home, at least among friends. Well, this next artist that I'm about to introduce to you has got plenty of friends, including MC Hammer. He recently toured with the Hammer and has just completed the theme song to Rocky V. This is Joey B. Ellis and Go For It.
If you want it, you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. You don't have to hurt them. Just go for it.
That was Go For It by Joey B. Ellis. A 21-year-old Philly native, Joey met up with the Hammer while at a music seminar in New York. The two became friends, and as they say, the rest is history. Coming up, a band that has just emerged from a 3-year hibernation. Stay tuned as we climb aboard the Wire Train.
Your pulse races, the adrenaline flows. There's no time to think. In a single second, our lives can plunge into chaos. Suddenly, there's an earthquake or a violent explosion. An airplane develops engine trouble. A tornado descends from the sky.
I'm Morris Jones for the Discovery Channel. Join me for Survival.
Tuesdays at 8 Eastern, only on the Discovery Channel.
The Mambo is an offbeat dance that we will now drive to the music. It requires loose, relaxed movements of the knees, hips, and arms. Don't forget to mark time to the 1, 2, 3 lead-in so that you can begin the Mambo on the 4th beat. 1, 2, 3, slow. That's it. Watching Ha is like learning to Mambo. Anyone can do it. Lucy, the first lady of TV comedy on Ha, the new TV comedy network.
Imagine being a brand new band and opening up for a living legend. Well, that's exactly what Wire Train did. Wire Train was handpicked by Bob Dylan to open up during his American tour. The group is from San Francisco, and they've got a new song out called Should She Cry? Anders, Kevin, Brian, and Jeff make up Wire Train. Now on their 4th album, the band has a new outlook. Unlike previous efforts, this album was recorded live.
It was fun. It worked out well for us. Probably if a group plays together well, they should try recording an album like that. Other groups want to do it one track at a time. That's cool too. But all I have to do is listen to the record to hear the results.
Well, I think it was a result of, we had already previously made 3 albums, and we had tracked those. And we found that when we played live shows, we were very inspired, and the songs were really, they were singing, you know. So we decided, let's just go in the studio like we're playing live, like we do, where the magic comes from when we play live.
Experimenting with new instruments is important to Wire Train. The band is putting together quite a collection of unusual instruments, at least unusual for a rock band.
Musicology class, right? Ethnomusicology. I think it's just a result of all of us being interested in different instruments and different musics and kind of picking up various things. This has become my little baby, this doumbek, which is a Middle Eastern drum, Jeff got this mandolin on the road, and we're just
I'm bored of
experimenting.
guitar,
Yeah,
basically.
That's it.
The band is very involved in the business of rock and roll. However, they don't book themselves, and that might explain their last tour.
We were traveling in the same circuit as all the carnies. That's when I started to feel like a carny myself. When they started recognizing us when we were walking around the carnivals, the state fairs, yeah.
Yeah, the geeks would all follow Brian around. Hey, you're the drummer for that rock band, aren't you? Yeah. Hey, let me play drums with the band. You can bite the heads off chickens.
We won a lot of little furry little animals, you know.
Fake fur.
Music is important to Wire Train, but they also pursue other interests as well. One example is Kevin's attempt at acting.
I played a guy named Raphael, and the way it relates with the band is that Raphael's chief character trait was that he hung around in bars.
Oh, and this was in a movie called?
Yeah, thank you. Rockula.
Rockula.
Film called
Available
Rockula.
now
Available
in your
at
video rental.
At all your Blockbuster videos.
Actually, Kevin was auditioning.
I was an actor.
Well, the band's heading back towards the studio, so we probably won't see them around for a little while. Hey, an interesting side note to that interview. We did it down at Music Hall just before the band was going to go on, and there were no rooms available. So we threw up a bunch of banners, and I guess you couldn't even tell, did you, that it was a shower that we were in? Well, that's TV at its best. Now it's time to go around the dial and find out what's in the music news.
Will be running as a national candidate. Around the dial, music news.
Hi, I'm Heidi Jackson, and here's the news. Some very popular local groups are doing really well lately. For instance, Sata, who are on their second annual Alaskan tour, was chosen for a feature on MTV's Island Dance Party. And the group First Light was picked to open for Living Color in their Detroit, Michigan concert. The two groups first met back in 1988 when they were playing together at Peabody's. So keep that in mind when you're playing together with other groups at local bars. And here's someone who's looking to be discovered. His name is Tom Madden. He's from Cleveland, but right now he's living out in San Francisco looking to be discovered. He sent us this 8mm film version of his video, Burn at the Night. It's night scenes of Cleveland. Best of luck to Tom. And for other aspiring artists like Tom, Lakeland Community College offers a yearly seminar called Meet the Rockers, where you can meet local musicians in the know. This year's seminar featured Bob Kidney of the Numbers Band and Michael Stanley. Michael said that if he could get one thing across to aspiring artists is that you have to believe in what you're doing. And also, just because someone else doesn't like your work doesn't mean it's bad. He also had this advice.
Get yourself a wonderful lawyer. Another very important thing, because if you get your foot in that door, you're not dealing with people who are out there looking for your best interest on any level. They may be nice people. You might go on vacation with them. You might go out and have a drink with them. But when it comes down to signing contracts, they're going to take you for everything they can. That's their business. That's what they do. Shoddy accounting practices in the music business are just standard. You know what's happening to you. They know they're doing it. They bank on the fact that you will not spend the money to audit them, to find out how much money they didn't give you that you actually earned. Because once you find out, you've spent so much auditing for it that it's sort of worthless to begin with, unless you're dealing with a huge group, you know, unless it's a Billy Joel or a Beatles or a Madonna or somebody where there are millions at stake. And a record company can make a hit out of any record they want. They decide what the hits are going to be. How many times have you walked down the street and all of a sudden you realize you're whistling something that you hate? I mean, I did it. I mean, I would walk down the street and I realized one day it was a terrible moment when I realized I was whistling like a virgin. Not whistling like a virgin, but whistling a song like a virgin.
If you're planning on attending next year's seminar, make sure you enroll early because they're always a sellout. Well, now it's time for Mike Donato, a man and his opinion.
Recently, Pete Townsend of The Who confessed that he knows what it's like to be a woman, and that he also understands what it's like to have gay sex. Well, this confession from old Pete has really set some people off. For one thing, it started an avalanche of jokes about Pete and his life as a woman, but also it has caused people to question the validity of Pete's work with The Who, which I feel is totally wrong. Now, Pete Townsend has written some of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time, and his sexual preference does not change that at all. Now, if Pete Townsend wants to kiss boys, well, that's his business. Unless, of course, he tries to kiss me, then he's got a problem. But the point is this: just because someone's a homosexual, it does not deter from his status as an artist. Now, I've been a big Who fan for years, and a big Pete Townsend fan. And now that Pete's come out of the closet, or now that he's been spending time in the closet, it doesn't change my opinion of him at all. And in fact, last summer, when The Who came through Cleveland, I got the opportunity to meet Pete Townsend. And let me tell you, it was very exciting. You know, not sexually exciting, but very exciting to meet a man of his talent. And during this time, I happened to bring one of my favorite Who albums with me, and I gave it to Pete, and he personally handled and autographed it for me. Now, right now, it's really hip to rap Pete and make fun of him and make these gay jokes, but I'm not that way. As I said, that album that he personally handled and autographed is one of my prized possessions, and I would now, right now, like to reveal it and hold it up here on live TV to show how much I respect Pete still. Clamps, please, nurse. Thank you. This is the album that Pete Townsend autographed and handled. And one more time, just because someone's gay does not mean that we should fear him, you know, like we might get a disease from him, or respect him any less. On behalf of myself and my nurse, I would like to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, too.
Merry Christmas.
And please remember that Mike's opinion is not necessarily that of the station, of the show, and we're not sure that it's even Mike's. Well, the 1991 World Almanac Heroes of Young America poll shows that the person most admired by American teens, this is males and females, is not Mother Teresa or George Bush or Mikhail Gorbachev or any of those people. It's Paula Abdul. And the editors of Spin Magazine have chosen the #1 group of 1990, and that's Faith No More. Also chosen for Best Album: Sonic Youth, Jane's Addiction, Prince, and Neil Young. And finally, since it is the holiday season, Atlantic Records has put together a gift set of a CD or cassette and a music video. Now, that's available for Phil Collins or for Debbie Gibson. The thing I don't understand is that it's no cheaper to buy it as a set than it is to buy them separately. But it is a great gift idea. Well, that's going to do it for the music news. Have a safe and happy holiday season. I'm Heidi Jackson.
Coming up, a hot new band, Trickster. And later on, a not-so-cold older band, The Call.